Hey everyone, we're here with the first episode of the You Heard It Here podcast. I'm Kassie.
And I'm Sofia.
And this is going to be a podcast for anyone living in the world of social media. Whether you're running accounts, scrolling for inspo, or you're just here for the behind the scenes drama, you're in the right place. We're really going to appeal to the daily users, creators, business owners, and even the social media pros. You can expect client stories, brand building breakdowns, guest experts, and our unfiltered takes on what's trending. So I am the creator and founder of Goat Social Media, which is a social media agency based here in Fort Lauderdale.
And I am Sofia, and I'm one of the social media managers of Goat Social Media, and I have been with her for 3 years.
Yeah, so Sofia actually started as an intern. I can't believe it's been 3 years since you began.
No, we have
And
2 new interns started yesterday, and it's literally insane that I was in their same shoes.
yes. And your intern class was really unique because I remember, really only wanting 1 to 2 interns, and we ended up having 4 because there was such a talented group of people that year. And everyone has gone on to work in social media. So that definitely says something about this industry. It's rapidly growing. There's plenty of jobs available.
And interest. I remember you said we were like 1 of 50
Yes.
of interviews, so that's insane.
It really was. And it's wild to think that this agency will be 8 years old in September. When I started, I was fresh out of college and undergrad, and I always loved social media. I always did it for groups and clubs in high school and college. And I had some family, friends, and neighbors ask me to run their Facebook page. That's kind of how it all began.
Yeah.
And then I was like, got more clients, and I was like, I need to make this an LLC or a real business, at least to be able to charge them and run this. And then it kind of grew a life of its own because I realized a lot of these businesses and small brands 8 years ago, if they didn't have the budget for a full marketing agency or a full marketing company, they really had nobody to turn to run their social media.
Right.
And they really couldn't afford to hire someone full time. So we became that agency for them, just doing social media. And all these years later, that's all that we do. We don't do websites. We don't do email. We don't do anything else. We really live, sleep, and breathe social.
People ask what our niche is, and honestly, I always say we don't really have one because we don't really specialize in one industry. Our niche is social media, so.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty of agency life.
Yeah.
Where you're not, when you're working with one brand or one company, you're kind of stuck in that industry all day. And we get to flip-flop between hospitality, B2B, real estate, home services. There really
Medical,
is
legal.
Exactly. So it's
B2C.
It's the nice part about being with an agency.
Yeah.
I always say that anybody who works for a social media agency probably could win a trivia contest
No,
because we
seriously.
know so much about all these random topics.
Just like an encyclopedia of random facts
Literally.
and information and industries.
Yes. And that kind of, leads into a question I feel like we get asked a lot. A lot of people want to know, so what's a day in the life of a social media manager? And it's really different every day, which is what I enjoy.
Me too.
You have your schedule of coming into work, normal work hours per se, but every day is different. Like for me, I know I like to start looking at my email and all of my client notifications. And then any task that I didn't finish from the day before or the week before, I usually dive into there. But it can be, I can spend hours right away in the morning working on content, then scheduling or working on campaigns, then meeting with clients, and all in between. And sometimes you're doing all of it at once just to get everything
17
in.
tabs open.
Yes. What about you? How do you like to have your day broken down?
The same, but also like yesterday, for example, we had a client call at 3 p.m. So I had a lot to do before that. So that was a bit of an abnormal day, starting my day with just one client. But usually I like to open my email, check our scheduling platform, see what's pending, see what needs to be done, have clients reviewed, has Kassie or any of our team members reviewed, see what's pending from the day before. And then honestly, that tells me what needs to be done next.
Exactly.
Honestly, each day is just so different, just again, depending where everyone's standing, client meetings, and who's on site.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things where social media is never done.
Right.
It's the kind of job that you can work 24/7.
We could work.
Yes.
I could work around the clock. I'm never done for the day. I just have to be done.
Exactly. And then it has to get, to the next time and the next step.
So a little bit about me and how I started, honestly, it's really interesting how the agency changed itself from when I started 3 years ago. We've
Mhm.
definitely grown into partnering with other agencies and other clients of large sizes,
Mhm.
and that's how I started, as of course as an intern. And actually, out of the four of us, I was the only one who was done with college. So the other three girls had school to go back to, and then
Yes.
and then the end of our internship snuck up on me, and of course, I was, you know, dived into the internship. I wasn't really looking for other positions. So the end was near, and I was like, hey,
Yeah.
are you hiring? Like, I know I didn't really know the ins and outs of goats. So I was like, okay, like maybe I have a position here. And Cassie actually was like, I don't really have full time bandwidth to give to you. So we worked around our schedules. And I mean, now we're here. And like I said, we've really grown in the past 3 years that there's plenty of work for me to do.
Definitely, definitely. It's
So,
evolved for
yeah.
sure, and the
So,
growth has been very deliberate. With the
yeah.
clients we work with and the kind of clients we work with. Not every client is a fit for an agency as well.
Yeah.
Some clients they're better off having someone in house, but it's the clients who really need that expertise. Or they
Yeah.
have someone that works really well with us. We work hands in hand with them. That's, our secret sauce, really. A lot of times they have a marketing manager or
Yeah, I
they
was gonna
have
say.
someone who does the basics of social media or the basics of, their digital marketing, but they need us to get it to the finish line or us to execute. But when they really also know their brand and their vision, we
Yeah.
work so well
They
with
help
them.
us immensely. And like you said, like a marketing director who has an eye for social media and
Yes,
social needs, but maybe can't and isn't specialized in that because it is its own specialty.
that's
So,
true. And speaking of an eye, not many people know that I have a theater background.
oh,
So
yes.
in undergrad, I actually studied theater, and then I have two minors in education and communications. I always knew I loved marketing, advertising. So the communications was like a non negotiable. I always wanted to
Same.
study that in college, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. So it was nice that I could have that minor. And then as I, got really into freelancing of social media when I first started my business, I decided, oh, this is something I really want to do. And I noticed that theater background and having that artistic eye
Yeah.
was able to really translate into creating content, building stories, and really bringing clients their own story to life. And then I got my master's from UF. Once I had a year of freelancing under my belt, I said, I need to study this more.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is now a lot of colleges and schools and universities have social media
Social media
courses, but
specialty.
at the time, that was so rare, and only in in post grad could you study it.
Yeah, I feel like social media, even at my time, like 3 to 5 years ago when I was starting, that social media wasn't really like a specialization. So I studied courses that really helped me with social media, design courses,
Exactly.
copywriting. I mean, that's why I did communications because I loved reading and writing and telling stories. And
Yes,
that's
and I think
something I do every day.
definitely, I think people really underestimate how much
Yes.
writing we have to do.
Yeah.
It's writing day in and
And
day
day
out.
out,
Literally, all we do is write.
writing in captions, writing in our graphics, in our
Blogs,
videos,
yes.
blogs. So nothing we don't cover in social.
Literally, literally. So, what is like a proud win that you've had recently with a client? I know we had a lot of them.
I feel like a big one that we both celebrated was Zach for Formula Z. He is a beauty brand for all, and he partners a lot with Ipsy. You may also know Ipsy as BoxyCharm, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So they have every year Ipsy Awards, and he won Best Indie Brand. And I feel like that also plays into hand with his social, and that is his
Definitely.
branding is all over his social, from the visuals, the copy, just the brand consistency that he, as CEO and marketing director, has really helped his social team, Goat, to really translate that into his social content. It has really shown when we have taken
Yeah.
over his account.
So our
Yeah.
client Zach, he's Formula Z Cosmetics, and I have actually known him since he was a kid.
Hmm.
And I actually worked at a theater school that he attended. And then many years later, he decided to create his own makeup line. And he was one of the first ever really to have a makeup line that was for
For
all.
all.
He calls it unisexy because
Yes.
it's not just for men or women, it's for everyone.
Everybody.
And I remember his first product that did really well was his long-lasting lipsticks. And the first time I used it, I put it on and I was like, oh my God, 12 hours later, I still had lipstick on. So like it really, his products are high
lipsticks
quality and
like
he's
one of their
evolved
best
from there.
sellers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now skincare. And so yeah, seeing him thrive and
Yes.
also knowing him personally and getting to work with him all these years, it's nice to see him recognized in these bigger brand awards.
And then, of course, his branding was awarded.
Yes.
So that was a huge win for GOAT. as well for
Definitely.
Zach.
I agree. That's a really great win.
Yeah. What about you?
I would say the latest one is Camp Hill Foundation when they had their spring benefit. I got to go to New York City and attend it and get to get content in real time. And that was the best benefit they've had ever since they've had the foundation. They raised 300,000 just in that one night.
Wow.
And they're continuing to raise money from before the event, after the event. And it's nice to see the foundation come to life with what they're doing. We got to meet families. So the Camp Hill Foundation, for anyone who doesn't know, is they build these communities for people of all abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mostly, special needs and people who want to be part of that and give back. You have a lot of kids who take gap years from college or before college who choose to live in these communities. And basically, they live on the land. They have their own restaurants, coffee shops. They do a lot of arts and crafts. So it's
They have
these
their own farms in some
Yes,
locations. Yes.
greenhouses. So it's very much you live and work and do everything within this community.
Mhm.
And then they raise money, the foundation, to award grants. So some
Yeah.
communities might say, we need a new greenhouse, or we need a new pavilion, or we need our kitchen to be updated. And then with the foundation, they apply for these grants and the foundation awards them. So I got to meet some of the people who live in these communities, some of their families, some of their
Aw,
parents,
that's so nice.
and you got to really see all the work that we do on social media and share. We got to put a face to the
Yeah.
name. I met someone, Rachel, her name is, and she has her own cooking show in upstate New York
Uh-huh.
at Camp Hill Hudson. And I went up to her and I was like, do you know you're a celebrity? And she was like, you know who I am? And I was like, you're Rachel from your cooking show, So it
Yes.
has such an impact
We
and they don't
repost
even
some of those
realize.
recipes.
We do. So it's the power of social media really brings that all to life.
Yes, they have a lot of accounts, and we like to repost for them. So
Yeah.
love them.
So speaking of social media, something that always comes up is what's the latest trend, or what should I know about social media and what's trending now? And I think something that people are sleeping on are carousels.
Yes.
Right now, carousels are making a strong comeback. People think everything is a reel
Or video.
and video, but carousels are huge. Even TikTok is prioritizing a lot of carousels. And Instagram, it used to be up to 10 slides on a carousel. Now
Yes,
it's 20. And what people don't realize too with the algorithm is if someone sees a carousel and they don't like it or engage with it, they'll get served it again with the second slide. If they
Okay.
still don't like or engage
Yeah.
it, they'll get served it again with the next slide. So you're giving people 3 chances to see your content.
Or up
The
to
impressions
10,
go up.
20
Exactly.
options.
Versus if you ignore a video, you're probably never going to see that video again. So it's like an easy hack to get engagement.
My favorite way is carousels on TikTok for
Mhm.
my personal use. I just think it's so fun to kind of photo dump. I honestly forget to take videos, but I like to post on TikTok, I feel like the most. So that's my favorite hack.
Yes. What about anything else that's trending for you?
I like the Holy Airball.
Oh, yes. I think there's a lot of
There's
fun
a fun twist to it that
audio
I really
clips.
enjoy.
Yeah, so people don't know what that is. So there's a trend going on and it's literally hashtag Holy Airball. And basically it's saying that, someone said X about me, this is what they thought, but this is what it really is.
Right.
So I did one even on my own personal TikTok that it was, oh, you work in social media? Do you just post on Instagram stories all day? And then the Holy Airball popped up with all of the clips of, client work and articles I've been featured in. And it was just like, no, we go beyond that.
Yeah. I was about to say it mainly starts with a stereotype of
Yes.
whatever. So, for example, social media marketing, and they think it's just us scrolling on Instagram
Mhm.
and wearing cute outfits and just, not doing anything analytical or strategic. And then the next slide is the reality of social media.
Yes. I
So-
even I saw one that a surgeon did. and it was a girl, and she was like, "Oh, they were like, oh, you work in a hospital, you must be a nurse, you know?"
Mhm.
And then it's totally
Yeah.
Airball, and she's the surgeon.
Yes.
So that's really fun. I also love another trending audio moment is the 90 and a 30. It's using
Yes.
carousels. So people are putting their, their self, and then they have a second slide, or sometimes it's just a photo of themselves. And the whole 90 and a 30 trend is like the song that would make them go 90 and a 30 driving.
Yes.
Obviously don't be safe, but it's one of those fun trends because you're seeing everyone's favorite song. And there are certain people that I'm like, oh, I didn't think that would be like their song, or oh my God, I
Yeah.
forgot about that song. That's an amazing one.
Or honestly, it's a great way to find new music too.
Yes, yes. Someone did It's All Coming Back to Me by Celine Dion. And I was like, wait, that is a hit.
Love, love.
Yeah. So, something we're going to do with all of the podcast episodes and guests is we're going to always end with the final heard word. And
Mhm.
we're going to close out the episode with 2 questions we're going to ask everyone. So, you're going to get our answers first. So, our question we're going to ask is, what's your favorite social media platform and why? And I say at the moment because I feel like this is fluid, it changes.
Mine too.
I will say for me at the moment, it's TikTok. And I say TikTok because it really functions as a search engine. You can type in, dinner restaurant spots with ambiance near me. You can literally, like, I was just traveling and I could say, where should I eat in London that has a vibe or that's near Tower Bridge? You can get pretty specific. And there's almost a TikTok video for everything.
Everything.
And I've learned cleaning hacks, I've learned social media hacks. So I say right now, it's definitely TikTok. What about you?
Yes, same.
Yeah.
TikTok. It's just honestly, if I say I read something, I read it on TikTok. It's just my search engine. And same thing, I'm going on a trip and I'm like best shopping in XYZ city. And I get to honestly see what's inside these stores and see what they got to buy. And these users really give more information. Not all of them are, trending influencers who are profiting from these posts. They're just sharing their raw thoughts. So that's why I love, and that's what I find the most on TikTok.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
feel like TikTok is very much less edited, more authentic than
Yeah.
Instagram has become.
Mhm.
Instagram has become where you put your more edited content. Not everyone, but a
Not
lot.
everyone.
So I agree. And then TikTok also gives a voice to some of those smaller creators. Like there were some
Yes.
great restaurants I found and they only had, a couple hundred likes, or even some had like 10 likes. And I was like, wait, this is great. I need to go here.
Or they don't even have like a website or Instagram. They just
Yeah.
drop the address, and I'm like, honestly, I don't mind that.
Right.
So
And then the next question we're going to ask all of our guests, starting with us though, is what's one social media trend you wish would just go away?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I think it's the ones where it's a little too much. So it's
What do
not
you
really
mean?
just one trend. It's kind of the whole generation of social media right now where people are trying to be authentic, but they're talking too much personal. Like I think there's a line.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think there's a line of being authentic versus giving your whole personal life away. So I think that's going to fade out. I think during COVID time, people got very comfortable because they were home. But I think, you have to understand that anything that you post online, anyone can find. Your future employers, your future in-laws, anyone can find anything about you that you post. Even if you think you're private, the content's living somewhere. So I think people need to have that notion of not everything needs to be online and there can be some more privacy, especially
Yeah.
with children and kids.
Yeah. It's an invasion. I would say mine is same thing. It's more like a movement and like very not an issue, but something we see a lot is cancel culture.
Mm,
So I've seen with some like not influencers, but just like creators who maybe work at a restaurant. They'd be like, this person came to our restaurant and didn't tip or only tipped 10%. And it's like now we must cancel them and just like, really coming for other influencers or other influencer drama. And
yes,
it's
and
like,
brands as well.
yes, like let's
I've seen
cancel
that
this
too.
brand. They said this, or it's like, okay, maybe one wrong move or maybe it was interpreted great, but now you're going to cancel their whole account or
Right.
business.
Or give the
So,
brand or the restaurant or someone a chance to make it right versus blasting them on social media. I think people got very comfortable with,
and very quick to do that,
behind the
especially like in the
phone.
comments, blocking their account, reporting their account, really bringing their engagement down. Just like not really, it's not fair.
No,
So
definitely.
it's definitely cancel culture. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are sometimes so filtered is because they are scared of
Yes, but
getting
that's also
canceled.
the case for social media where I
Yeah.
tell brands if you're not on it and you're not talking about your own brand, your own content, and you're not publishing your own story, someone's going to make a story for you.
Yes.
So it's really important to really own the narrative and to have your own presence
Take
there so
control.
that doesn't happen.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. So that is the end of this first
A wrap.
episode. I am so looking forward to future episodes where we can dive into other trends, tips, have expert guests, talk about different industries, and really cover a lot of the questions that we get on the reg about
Yes.
social media.
How we do it.
Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Talk to you later.